Hello and welcome to the next episode of this series, which is all about this Lego room and of course my life. Now you can tell by the name of the title, we are going to be making a little Clone Wars diorama. Now this is actually following on directly from the Hoth upload. So this would have been the previous Star Wars upload, and we've managed in one upload to get all of that done. So fingers crossed we can actually get this diorama looking half decent. Now if you did catch the first part of the little Clone Wars thing, we put all the different base plates down and we started to add in all of the different paths, and then we had to stop because I did not have the correct colour base plates that were needed for the actual little display that we're going to be putting here at the front. It's going to be sort of like a split path display, but either side is all going to be one larger diorama, which I think, fingers crossed, should look all right. Now in other uploads as well before these, we've managed actually now to finally rehome all of the modulars, but apart from that, in 2025 I've ripped the room to pieces, but we have repainted the walls so that it's gone blue, it's gone orange, and it's gone yellow. So there's been lots and lots of changes in the start of 2025. So fingers crossed now we can actually make some form of diorama. So plan of attack for today is just to focus on the front just here, and then think about if we're going to have to fork off the path in a couple of different places. And I do want to measure the UCS Venator stand, which I do really, to be honest, need to order, because before that set is actually in, we can't really finish the path off properly. So we're going to be going backwards and forwards within this upload, figuring out exactly where the rest of the paths should go. So with that being said, let's get to it. So the first thing we are going to have to do is actually get the base plates out of the packaging, because they've only just arrived. So fingers crossed the correct colours are in here. Otherwise, well, it's going to be a very, very short upload. Now there's a huge delivery come through. And again, massive thanks to Jay's Toy Collection UK for finding one of these for me. But obviously they are non-official Lego base plates because they are far too expensive. But this is quite a chunky thing. So we have got in here a few different multiple coloured packs and some jet black as well. So they are all in here. So there's 12 black base plates just there. Try and do this without it actually dropping on Harry Potter. That is the next load of colours just there. So 4 lots of 3. So we can start making all sorts of different diorama displays. Now what I need is I just need 3 tan, and then we can carry on. So nice and simple, 3 tan. Thank you very much indeed. So these are the first 3 that are going to go down. Base plate quality is absolutely fine. The minifigures go on them okay, and they don't rip the holes open on their feet any wider than the normal Lego one either. So that is fantastic, because I know it's sort of like a grey area for base plates, isn't it? It's either you have to get the official ones, you've got to be careful with the minifigures, or you just try and find another company that can do it. But from a background, that is what this wall is looking like. I think it's going to look rather nice with the long UCS Venator all across the back wall. Obviously with the Hoth bits and pieces ongoing, a bit like the Clone Wars displays, you just have to keep your eyes peeled for the uploads. The 8080 will be built sooner rather than later, but the problem is that I need to tidy up all of this at the same time, and I can't do 2 things at once, because this table is really starting to bug me, because I've got to crawl underneath it every single time. So because we are rough, ready, and always, well, very unprofessional here, we are going to climb underneath the table, and we will just carry on with what we can do. So you are there, and I need to clear a bit of space. So if I put you up there, put these somewhere safe, they can go there. Right, so I have built, that's the correct word, the other Clone Wars battle pack, and I have also underneath here found the Ahsoka one as well. So I'm going to keep this one boxed, and I think I'll add this in with the Ahsoka ship and we'll see if we can get that at the front of the big cheese that is going to be coming. And then yeah, just basically figure out what we can do. We've got another ship to build that's going to go in the back corner as well. So I think I'll do both corners maybe at the same time with regards to other sort of like paths and things like that. Now this is going to be, it's not tricky, it's just going to be a bit painful because I have a bit of a problem, as I normally do, but fingers crossed we might be lucky, because I've got a couple of 16 by 16 sand base plates, and I've got a 32 by 16 here, 16 by 32 on this bit. But the issue I have is like a base plate and 7 studs. So I don't know whether I'm going to have to cut something or just get some strips of something. But we'll see. We'll put the 3 tan down first, because it's going to be grey on show. That's going to be the problem, because what I will. This is what I've been arguing with myself about. I think I've got no choice. Is how we've got it here. You've got the 32 butted up to the 16. Now I could keep that as is, and then I can just put the sand directly over the top. That would actually then level us up to here, but we're still going to have that problem with a gap on this end. So that's not going to solve anything. So I don't know whether to put the 32 by 32 down and just try and get it in that that space area. But the only thing from doing that is then I can't put the base plate over the grey if I want to hide it, because obviously the base plate levels are going to be off. So do I just put the tan base plate straight over, say for example the white, leave it grey, and then it gives me the ability then to do both? That might be the more sensible option potentially, because I have got plenty of white base plates, so I can put that weight of the white base plate down, because all the white at the moment are being used, because Hoth is complete, the winter village at the moment is complete, and I've got 5 spare white base plates at the moment. So what I am waffling on about is this. So we either have the grey all the way around here, and didn't want to do that, did I? That gets replaced with that, and that's what it looks like, and we make a different diorama in here. But that walker is absolutely massive, so it's gonna have to go on this side or go over the path or whatever else. But I was thinking of trying to actually get the path underneath the legs, so that's okay. So I basically don't know whether to extend the display, because obviously I've not even done it yet. So obviously for me to extend this display, the safest option is for me to do this. And then obviously what I can then try and do, because if you put 2 base plates on top of each other and you've got the base plate tiled, it is to the top. But of course I've got this at the back, so I'm going to have to try and do something. The one thing I can think of is, I don't particularly want to rip all of that up and redo it, but if I was to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can't go 8 studs that way, I don't think. I don't think it's going to work with the new base, because I have given myself a base plate and a half plus 3 studs all the way down for the cheese. But going by the stand when it's empty, I think that is actually far too much, because I read what the dimensions should be with it on the stand, but obviously it's raised up and it's the stand that's angled. So if I was to give myself a base plate and a half depth, I could then cover it with, well, just half a base plate, and it's just a base plate and a half deep display, and that is half a base plate in here. So this one's not too much of a problem to cover, because obviously I can just put that in there. But it's actually what space I give myself for this display because it's going to be a long display at the front, split, the cheese at the back, and I knew this would be a little bit of a awkward one because of the size of the vehicles that we're going to be putting in, but I also want to have a bit of a wiggle with the other paths, because I guess this technically the third option is I try and squeeze it on here and I actually bring the path forward, so the path actually kicks in earlier, so it's just 3 base plates of space here, and then we could potentially have something stud-wise in front of the cheese that's going to go against the back wall. I always call them cheeses, by the way. They're the big long cheeses. So it's just tricky with what I've given myself for space at the front, because I've measured it from the back, but I think I can give myself a few more studs with regards to measuring that, but let's just see. So before I do anything, if we just pick these up, so like I said, all of these are the different bits and pieces that, if you caught the last upload, you've seen them. You've seen the different bits and pieces that are there. I've just added in one more identical battle pack. So we've got a second one of those. We've got a second one of those, and yeah, some of the little bits and pieces as well. So if these two, that's just going to go like that. It makes such a difference when they're down. It looks so much better. That is what we've got. So that's the space that we've got. Do I just go, we're going to have 3 base plates and basically make a 3 base plate display? Because I do not want to get this out of control, because this, for example, is near enough a full base plate. But if that went to the back just here, I can actually have the path going underneath, I think, that. So we could put something else in the corner, and then we should be able to just get all of the other little bits and pieces in that. Now if I do that, the obvious thing to do will be to bring that in, I think, because we have got basically half a base plate for display. It's because nothing's here. This is the problem, nothing is here, whereas all of that was there, and I did the paths around it as we went. But I think we should have 3 base plates as a diorama, take these up, and I'm going to go with that option to start with. I can see a potential for a double path in the middle, because I think we might be able to have a path close to this, smaller dioramas in the middle, and then another path going right in front of the cheese, and you can just go off, so you're basically making like an E ish, and then the path goes off to the front. So I am going to have to measure up the stand, because if that is the best way of doing it, then I'm going to have to take the tiles up first, re-put them all down, and we come, I don't know, we give ourselves a little bit of grey so that you can see that it's, I don't know, because that looks really clean because it's all on one colour. Because to add in all of the, because if we threw that there, throw another one like that, the second you start doing that, it eats into the space quite quickly anyway. And then you have got, well, the bottom of that has literally just fallen off, so that's embarrassing. So you've got that thing there, there we go, you've got another one here. But the reason why I'm umming and ahhing about the path is I need to move the path before I put these down, otherwise it's not going to really fit. But we've got plenty of minifigures to go in it, And we can put something to the back just here. We've got a couple of, for example, we could have a gun. It's just because this is so large. That is the problem. But I've got to be strict with how much space I give myself with the other little bits and pieces that are coming out, or I expand this. And we go from there. Let me get the measurements up for the stand and see if we're going to go for a double path, which, to be honest, I think would look quite nice. It's just a lot more tiles, but I think it would look nice if we can have some smaller displays in the middle, just some vehicles or like a little ship or something like that, just to split it up. Because if we have a display in the middle, we might not use all of these. Like, for example, this battle pack, which is the older 501st battle pack, we could actually have in the middle, and it could be its own separate display as well. So it doesn't have to be super busy, because we've got all the orange ones coming out from here, and obviously we've got some of the 501sts as well. Yeah, so for this one, we've got the jet trooper and a couple of battle droids. So it could be fighting a few battle droids, a few with the others. And we could go from there, because we've got quite a few minifigures to add. Wasn't expecting this much of a headache. I knew it was going to be interesting when that went down. But yeah, maybe it's a case of taking those vehicles out, because I think if the second you put that in there, and you put that in there, and then don't forget we've also got to try and get that inside our new perimeter, that also inside as well. I think it's going to be a little bit on the tight side. So yeah, maybe these two blue comes out, and we just have those battle packs, and we just have a couple of different displays, maybe on different colours. Can't be that hard, can it? We will get there, because I did it on that one. I had this much of a headache at the one to start with. The path is going to stay as is. We've got the transport that comes in. It could just kick off and come straight down, because we've got the path all the way around that one. I just don't know if it looks quite nice with the grey, or it's quite pointless, but it does mean that I could potentially put 3 paths down this display, so you can see at the back, and you can see a full 360 of this base plate and a bit of a display as well, and we can kind of have like a full cut throughs of it, so you're kind of part of the actual diorama, I think. Whereas that one's just going to be a full path, and you can actually see underneath. That's what I want to try and recreate on this one, rather than it just being straight line, straight line, straight line. It'd be quite nice if it came off quite a few times. Right, I'll get the measurements. I'll re-measure this to the stud to see exactly what it is, and then yeah, we'll see how we get on. Right, so I've got the dimensions up for the stand with it on and with it off. Not that it's going to be too much of a difference, because obviously when it's on, it's still got to be that far away from the wall anyway. The one thing I was concerned about was the actual middle part of the actual stand, because don't forget it's a solid base, so we will have to get a little bit creative with that. Now in the last upload we did measure how far it came out to, and I did give an extra 2 studs so it was there. And then I thought it would be a good idea to put the path across, and then it gave us that amount. But I think either the path needs to move only if we can get a extra display in, because as it stands right now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 studs. So we're almost at half a base plate of unusable space because of how I've put the path in. Whereas if I brought it forward, we might then be able to, like I said, just get some more minifigures in there, and we can just kind of get closer to the ship and come round and almost just make like mini displays in front of maybe the base. And then where it's not on the base, or especially not on the wing side, we can get all the way to the front, which is this side of the room is where it's going to be. So the engines are going to be on that side, and it's going to be going that way. So we'll have all of this space behind here for, well, in here, I'm thinking we're going to have basically almost 2 base plates, I think, with regards to open space, because it's going to be so high. So that would be fantastic. So that's what that little battle pack and things like that are going to be used for. I have just thrown in the 501st walkers. I thought, well, actually we could just have them as a thing, because obviously if you're going to be walking around, you can just see them. So if I angled the one, had the other, both of those take up half a base plate. So that's how big those 2 things are. So they are quite large. I could put 1 or 2 501st minifigures in there as well, and that could just be its own standalone display. And then the actual path, I think I'm going to bring forward, I think, and then it gives us more space between this front and the back, rather than having this as a huge display. I think that is probably going to be the best way to go. So it means I've got to take all these tiles up, which I'm definitely not going to bore you with. I'm just going to do it off camera, get them all up, get them all down, get to where we are at the moment, and then I'll start to extend this bit in, because I think if we had all of the ATTE minifigures with it, and all the other little bits and pieces, it will work well. If, as and when they release another battle pack, if that battle pack is half a base plate or a base plate big, we can then split it up and then just put it in different places. It'll be different colors, it'll be different whatever. Whereas at the moment, I think I'm just going to mix generic with some of the blue and some of the yellow, and then Ahsoka's lot can just go with Ahsoka, because she's got her small little ship, so that can go up here. I think it will come up here, because she is in the Clone Wars ship. So yes, it will come up here, because obviously it's a Clone Wars-ish display. I know some of the helmets and all that kind of thing's off, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And then when the stand and the ship arrives, I say that when the ship arrives, when the stand arrives, because the ship's going to take forever to get built, when that stands in, we will know exactly then where we can go with the rest of the paths, with regards to just height and different bits and pieces like that. So let me move a lot of these tiles forward. Right, we are getting there. You can see how many I've done, how many more are still to go, but I thought I would just share the joyful pain with you as they come off. I have obviously committed to do it. I think honestly it is actually the better way of doing it. I don't know why I went back to front. What I probably should have done is just measured from the back and then given myself as much space as possible that was needed at the front, sorry, or in the middle, and then basically just mess around with that space as we go. But what I have started to do is either end of this display, I've actually got the tiles ready to go down. So we have got, when I get to the end of this one, I will show you, that's now been relocated, because obviously that was further up. So obviously we're 6 studs from there, and then we'll be 6 studs from that one, and then now they should hopefully just marry up. I have tried to get some of these off with the brick separator, and it started to break straight away. It does take forever. I find it longer with a brick separator for some of them than using your fingers, but then if you can get into a half decent rhythm, but you just get one that like that, for example, which is really heavily stuck down, and then it is a right pain. But these brick separators do come in very, very handy. This is actually one of the first times, see, I can't get that one off, it's one of the first times that I've actually used a brick separator for the tiles. But it hurts a lot getting them off with your hands, but then at the same time, well, they're coming off, aren't they? So it is what it is with that. So as you can see exactly where we're at the moment. I will catch back up with you when it's time to put all of these down. I just hope now that I actually have I should have more than enough space here, because what we've got an ATTE, we've got the gun, we've got a couple of the packs just going the other way. I know there is a couple of other packs coming out later on this year supposedly, and that is what I was thinking, maybe for the bits in the middle where you can just get a single pack, have them on display, and it would just look like what it would do if you were walking around Legoland Windsor. Obviously they would have it as a huge battle, but I'm having to do my own interpretation of it, because, well, I haven't got the space for 50 of the same battle pack, even though that would be amazing. And I'm still, as I'm doing this, thinking about the Hoth display, and if I actually have the internal of the AT-AT open or the internal of the AT-AT closed. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. Now, the fact that there's only actually a couple left and I've been waffling on just to try and take the pain away, honestly, rather than anything else, because it really does start to tickle after a while. We'll start getting these back down very, very quickly. Then we'll make the display up, and then we'll put in a plan of attack for the next display, because there is one Clone Wars ship, I do believe. We've got Obi-Wan Kenobi's fighter in the corner. That is just going to hang up on the roof ceiling. I think that's probably the best way of doing that. I think that's just going to stay in the box for a little while for now. But I think that's where it's going to go dangling around up on the wall. To be honest, want to get that built sooner rather than later, and actually just see what the minifigures and things look like, because I think they would look pretty. Cool. Might actually be able to have that one just parked up, just floating around. I don't think he blows up his ship in that part of the film. I think it's there or thereabouts. The correct, well, I say the correct ship. It is the correct ship, but I think that's how he gets back off, because obviously it's where all these clones come from. That's why that's blue. So I think we've got the correct colour base plates down in the areas that they need to go. Obviously, this is going to be an ongoing thing anyway, because of well, all the sets aren't out. They're not here. There's some that have just come out. There's more that is coming out this year. So you'll probably find by Christmas I'd have opened up this display even bigger, and we've just got a huge battle going on instead, with loads of other different vehicles and things like that. So I don't know, because we've got we've got a base plate and a half to 2 base plates around this big thing just here as well. So you can see that in the distance. That is an enormous ship, and when I figure out what can go there, because there could be battle packs and things for that can happen, and all of the other bits and pieces that can go down as well. It'll be interesting to see how this one turns out. I'm looking forward to getting the larger ship in, because I think that'll set it all off. I think Hoth looks very, very clean. The advantage is with the white base plates, it makes the orange really pop with the grey, whereas putting dark grey on light grey, it's obviously a little bit darker, but at the same time it does the trick, I think. So, but there are 16 yellows per base plate, and then there's 32 greys per base plate, and I've just ripped up 4.5 base plates, mainly with my nails, and now they are being launched back in. I just hope one yellow hasn't pinged off somewhere. So they did, some of them went flying. There's 2. They ended up in a couple of random places. But like I said at the start of the video, I could have messed around trying to figure out what I could do for 8 more studs. I just didn't think the grey would have looked that clean in front of everything else. So I think this is the best way. I'm sure people will be looking at me going, no, you're an idiot, you should have done it the other way around. But I'm going to go for multiple smaller displays rather than huge ones, because I think when the big cheese is in, it's going to need some smaller displays, because if you just had 2 huge displays, that would basically be it for the whole table. It'd be an impressive walkthrough. Right, this now I've got to think of paths. Do I just come down the inside of each base plate just to, because I'm sure we were going to come down there. I think that's where we're going to go. So if I just put those there, and then we will see what we can do. I just don't know with yeah, if we do the same, we could potentially do the same thing where those three come up, because we're 4 studs into that one, so we'll go 4 studs into that one. So that goes there, that is there, that one stays there, so I don't know why I just whipped that one out. And then that one comes out, and then we've got to marry them all up and try and get it looking. But I don't know if we need, I suppose if it's 3 base plates as a display, would you want to see, as you can see that bit from there, that bit from there, I don't think you're going to need that one. I think that's just a waste. We can think about that as we go. We can think about that one, but yeah, this is going to be coming that way. And then I think that would make sense for a walkthrough. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see it. And hopefully you guys and girls can kind of see what I'm trying to do with this. But now I can actually, now I've moved these back, I can actually see, visually see, just how much extra space there is up to the biggest part of the stand. So we now do have quite a lot of space now, which I think we can do quite a lot with, which will be great. So get these down as fast as I can, and then I can just push all of the base plates back together. So we haven't got that many to go, but the colour inside the darker grey definitely sets it all off. Now I don't think I'm a schoolboy. I don't think I'm repeating myself. I think I said it in the Hoth video that the colour that I'm using now is sort of darker grey. I've got a load of these in order, so when they turn up, you're going to see a lot more of this kind of thing. Just sort of, I say short videos, they're still going to be slightly longer, because I could just put this to a time lapse, and it would just take a minute or two to see. But I do quite like to kind of explain what it is I'm trying to achieve as these are going down. But we're doing okay so far. That is that one, that is that one. So 2 more, 2 more, 1 more in. Right, so that's all back. So we've actually gained now, not many, but we have gained a few tiles, because obviously we brought it in ever so slightly, but obviously we did have a few of these down anyway. Now we are going to have fun trying to figure out the best way of actually getting all of these base plates together, only because the wall at the back isn't perfect. So once the big cheese is in, I've got then something weighing down that area. We should be all right. But if I just now use these yellows to come down as far, well, it might not go all the way down. I might stop it 3/4 of the way down and maybe put something here. Because where does that go to? That goes to there. That's actually stood. That's stood on it now, is what that's doing. So why don't we walk to the foot? So I take those 2 off, put a dark grey there. That's where it stops. That's how I want it. So it goes that way, then I'm screwed. I can't have a very long path. If it goes in a straight line, it is that spread out and it's on the path. Came a couple of studs. this would be the wrong length for that. Either I put the path in the wrong way, as if the path was a couple of studs further down. We move. I can't bring it forward. Why is this so annoying? So that is, the leg span of this one is actually a full base plate wide, in case you're thinking of getting this, and it is just over a base plate long. So the actual feet of this thing are huge. You can see that's literally at the end. Yeah, there, but it's just a stud shy of that one. Yeah, so I kind of wanted the path come in all the way down, and it's sod's law. It is stuck and stood. Let's get these. Let's get that there, so I don't want to lose any stud space on this, because like I said, this is so big. So that's where that's going. So that'll come out. That'll come out. Do I entertain the fact of going this way? I'm not pushing them down, as you can see. Do I zigzag it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll make it a little bit different. We're going to have the grey either side. That is going to have to go there, then that's going to go there. That would be that one, because that will be like that, like that, like that. I've ordered more of the grey, and I have ordered more yellow, because we used all of the yellow in the last upload. So yeah, I think that might be a nice way to go. And then it just comes, could just come to here, and we could have something else. It doesn't have to come all the way down. It could stop there, really, and you just sort of got a path halfway into the battle, and it will allow you to see what's going on at the back just there, because we could have a bike just there, because obviously I can't eat into too much. So we had a bike there, and we put another bike underneath there, so people walking around can see the actual bike. Yeah, we could stop on that, and then, or that could go. Does that go there and that tucks in there, or do we do it vice versa? So it would be like that, that would be like that. And we might stop it off. I think we stop it off there. Yeah, it's just different as well. So this is now where it's going to be a bit tricky, because we haven't got any yellows left, so that's okay. And I haven't really got any other dark 32 by 32s, which isn't okay. I've got a load of 1x2s, which I could quite happily use those, but what I need to do is get them off other base plates like I was doing for the Hoth display, and there's really not that many spare ones to go. So we have got, how many more do we need? a few. So I've got them on things like this. That's a pain because I can't really reach them. That's a pain because I can't reach them. I've got a handful, I say a handful. I've got 4 or 5 that I can get to quite quickly-ish on here. So there's 1. Ow. My poor nails from doing this. 2. I'll stand there. I'll have to stay there. 'Yeah, I'm looking at that now. That does look fine. That looks okay. Yeah, the base plates could use it as acts as a divider, so you can see that it's 2 separate displays that you're walking around. So I think we can get away. We can get away with that. It doesn't need. I don't think it needs a path behind the ATT. So I think it's just going to be too small. But just bringing this in and doing this as a bit of a different divide, it's just a nice little touch. So it'll start to come back up. So that's all of those used. So in this bag I've got, I don't actually, I've got any, what have we got? Empty yellow, dark blue, green. I'm going to see if I'm going to grab some more of the dark greys from somewhere, but it's going to take a little while for me to get them off the others, and then we can actually finally add the minifigures to this display. Right, okay, so I failed basically. I've gone through a couple of different tubs and things like that. I have got hundreds and hundreds of things on order and they'll just be here as I start choking. They'll be here when they're here. So this is, like I said, this is going to be done in segments. I actually do really like how that path kind of kicks in and stops, and the fact that we have had the 2 colours overlap, it just makes it look like it's on its own thing. What I will do is, like we've got up on the Hoth, where we've got these little bits and pieces and like the rockery and the sort of the cheese wedges and that kind of thing, I will add some form of something around some of the ships if they're just stood by themselves. So I think these two from the battle pack, I think actually just work perfectly for me in a museum perspective rather than an actual battle. And it'd be quite cool as you just finish the land, that's the first or last thing you see, and then it'd be the same thing blocked off, and then you go over on that bit, so you get one more big battle, and then you've got these couple of little bits and pieces as a photo opportunity kind of thing on there. So that might be improved, the entrance and exit of what it is the first thing you see as you start coming around, but I think it'd be quite nice just to see some big vehicles, and obviously because a minifigure scale, if you were thinking if you were walking around it, it would be lifelike to you, and you would want to look up and take some photos of those things straight away. So got the transport just there. That might move only because it might look better somewhere else, but at the moment it's just a giveaway purchase and it's back facing us. If it's spun round, I really don't think it's going to make too much of a difference if I turn that round. I don't know if it looks better that way or if it looks better that way, but the one thing I do know is that we can expand, we can literally take a piece off from here wherever we want to go and then carry on to the next thing, because now we have done what we've done. Like I said, we've got a, well, we'll use Rex's micro scale, which I got as a fantastic little present. It fits in no problem. So as I was saying about the mini displays, if I then just wanted his ship just like that, just leave it just there, I would just build the path around it, and this is now the space that we've gained from moving this over. So it was worthwhile doing. Now with regards to all of the minifigures, I think I'm going to use all of them. I think if I was to move that, look, the path would stay the same. I'm not going to move the path. Just I haven't got anything else to put there at the moment. But I would like something as a bit of a wow factor, either maybe a limited edition minifigure or something, just where it's a little bit different for, you know, just something a little bit different that you would expect. So we've gained 2 Roger Rogers because the 2 Roger Rogers are from the other pack, so they're going to go there. This can come back and we can actually start to make a little bit of a display. So the 2 bikes are in. They're in 2 places that can be seen. We've got the 1 gunner, which is in the right place as of now. So that's fine. We've got 2 shield things. I think we've got 8. These are amazing, by the way. If you haven't picked up this pack, these super droids, they are beefy as anything. I don't know whether to have them in a long line or behind each other, or just going for a 1-to-1 battle and just be really, really silly. But we've got six of those, so that's not too bad. And then we have got just the generic clones that are fighting them. Now, for somebody like me who is very, very stupid, I was looking up at the snowtroopers, like, are they the same outfits? Are they different outfits? They're very, very similar, but there's a lot of grey. So it's the gloves and everything on those. So yeah, it's a bit of a funny one. Now the orange, the bright orange ones here, I've got more of them. There should be a fair few with the ATTE. They're in the bags because this got built when the project was going to start, and then I put it back in the box and used I put the minifigures on. I remember doing it, put them all on a grey base plate, neat and tidy, and then they all ended up in the bags. So I either have the orange ones close to the ATTE at the back, and then we have the blue lot at the front, or we mix and match the 2. And that gun, I don't know if you didn't even see that, that gun that he was holding has just flung off. I heard where it landed. I haven't got a clue. So I am now missing a large, long gun. I think it's gone into this box, which is basically the first box that is now going to get sorted out anyway when the underground bit gets sorted out. So yeah, he's now gunless. So I don't know, we can have just some of the orange ones a little bit further back, because there is a few of them. And then how many? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's got to be one more. Got to be one more. There it is. See, I knew that was. So we've got 2 shock. Check me out learning the names. We've got two shock clone troopers. So these 2 would look quite cool on display because they're the only two red ones. Now, obviously, what I do not want to do is swallow the droids, because normally it's a 50-50 battle, but we will kind of see how this gets on. I'm not too sure the best place to put you so you can actually see me adding these. Can I actually use the top of the... I can. So you are now taking a ride on the ATTE. Fantastic stuff. Now, I keep saying it, we've got all of this space up here for other battle packs and future battle packs that come out. And again, I can change the bits and pieces, and if I get a secondary battle pack or a third one or whatever else, like this for example, if I was to get another pack of this and it wouldn't work but the troops would, the other pack can just go by the balls behind. So this full leg takes up quite a lot of space, as you can see. Now, I don't know if these would be pretty cool for I've got to get something, I think, maybe a little bit more exciting. I don't know if that's rude or not. Because if you were to come into a museum for Star Wars, and obviously it was a mini land, you've got to think you're walking around Legoland, would that excite you for the first thing to see? Or would you like something else which would be different? Because this obviously can just go in this area now because it's in that bit, see? So these now fit within the new area. So I can have all of, well, we gain loads of space. Loads and loads of space. But, like I said, as it stands, I've got nothing else that can go there. It's a completely different sort of colour compared to all of the red bits and pieces. So because it just happens to be the ATT has the red on, and it also has the red on the bikes and the other little bits and pieces, whereas this might be potential. I want to say it might be from the movie, or there's a reason why it's blue. I'm sure there's an episode where they all come in blue and they're on their own walkers, but even still. So we've got this cool jet, the Jet Trooper. So we could have a couple of the 501sts, because if that's the 501st gun down there, so we could have a few just sort of about there. And you've got the cool figure with the pack. Rex is obviously all in his blue as well. And then we've got the 2 shock. And then we have got a fair few actual just plain, you could sit, I think this is supposed to sit in there. It's not the right one, but that can go in there. You can't see now because it's too close. But yeah, I've got quite a few. It's amazing actually, you just get 2 packs and you don't think they're going to be enough, and all of a sudden you just limit yourself to the base plates. That one. We could have, I don't know. They have all got their weaponry. They've all got their little guns and things, but I might put all the blues with the blues. We might have enough minifigures here with all of these things. Just put that one back a little bit. Yeah, there's no other way of doing that. So we've got at the moment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of minifigures in here when all the other orange ones come out. So the orange can be much further back than this. They can be walking with the ATTE. So that's so that's one orange. That's the other orange, and the other oranges can be. For fact, I'll put this orange. This one can go just here. So that can be stood by the bike behind the leg, and then yeah, they all need their little guns and things, which they did have, but I brought them all up, look, and they've all fallen out of my pocket. And again, I will add in other little bits and pieces as we go with regards to other stuff, I guess, because if these 2 are going to be, you can have one. I'll do that. Yeah, put one there. Put one to the outside there. Probably straight on them then, yeah. So that's your line. And then it would be all of them underneath. I just have all of them, I think, spread out underneath. And we'll just have a couple of the different helmets on. So that's the battle pack usage. Well, that's fantastic, really. I think it works because we've still got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 more 501sts. There's going to be at least 5 more of the figures that comes with the ATTE. So I could. I don't. No, is it the right? It's a 501st with Rex. I'm gonna Google that. So, not that I'm trying to be 100% accurate, but I think Rex 501st Clone Wars Rex. Is he? I know he's blue. I know he comes with the. Oh, he's the leader of it, isn't he? Yeah. So he's the leader of the 501st. So. Well, in the Clone Wars he is. I'm assuming he is in the actual main ones. I've just got my teeth sunk into the actual Star Wars ones at the moment. Star Wars ones, the Clone Wars ones. So we've got 3 of those. We have Rex and his little weird, just a bizarre looking little microfighter, and obviously he's going to be, he'll have his own stand with the Venator, because obviously he's a very key character that comes with this ship that apparently has no importance whatsoever, I got told. No importance whatsoever, and here we are, now designing the biggest display I've ever done. The first display properly that I've done up here since this has begun. So yeah, should be a fun one. But we have got plenty of, because I've got the extra 2 Roger Rogers. Got 6 of them. Yeah, I've got 2 on these cool bikes, so they can be. This thing's brilliant. So you can just angle this. It just looks like it's hanging on for dear life. To be honest, it's a cool little thing. So we'll have that there. We'll get the other one. There is technically a correct one to have because they give you an extra thing on the back. And then what allows you to do is it allows you to hold on to the handlebars, which is handy. Let me just make sure I've done that right. Is the right character for that. There we go. So that's the next one. That's the next one that goes on there. So plonk you back down here. Now, and I have seen the bits that are needed for these. So the long lengths. This, I feel really sorry for this. It's been battered, and if anybody can think of a use for a second one, they are dropping in price massively, and I could use a second one in a different display because they get used all the time. But I know there's different bits and pieces coming out for sort of other displays that are going to be happening. So what can you see? So that's the turret of the first one. You're going to be weighed down by a tape measure. Yes, okay, so you can see that. Oh, hello. So you can see those 2 together, and then what we'll do is we can have a little. Hang on, we'll stagger them. You can stagger these things because these things are. If we pair them slightly staggered, so. Because these things would absolutely annihilate. Can you get the front of that gun in the hand? Yes. Now, are these arms strong enough to pick you up? Come on. Yes, it is. Don't know how long it's going to stay like that for, but it can. That can be done. So we can have. Just adds a little bit of height, even if it's just the one. Even if it's just one, because they're so strong. We can have this one really close to this one. We have a couple more further back. We can have one really close and he's about to get shot. That way. And then Team Rogers, have all sorts of little weaponry and pistols. They've got all sorts of stuff. So the guns are everywhere. Like I said, they all have their own weapons. Some of them are still downstairs, some of them are up here. They're just awkward because love loads of these, because you just have these dotted all over the place, wouldn't you? You would just have loads and loads of these sort of just chilling out a little bit further back. And hide some of them as well. Yeah, so it's a little bit chaotic. I'll have that one doing some damage as well, because, God, please click in. Yes, okay, it does work. So yeah, you can get them holding bits and doing bits, which is kind of cool. I don't think it needs any more than that. I mean, you could put tons and tons and tons in, and you got little bits and pieces going on. Granted, it would be quite nice to have stuff underneath the feet, so maybe a couple more Rogers would be pretty cool. But no, you've got the super ones there. You've got, they're all looking at what's going on. That one's looking lost. We've got this one here. Now that can't go any further back, because don't forget that's all going dark grey, so they're all there. That shock doesn't. Oh, hello. That shock doesn't have a gun. Come on. I don't know if it's because it's really cold in here, or these guns have a very chunky grip. But I've had a nightmare trying to get both battle packs in, to be honest. You're shooting that one, Roger's there. Yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3 at the back. These two up at the top. I just don't know. Like if I did that, it's just not gonna work, I don't think. Never mind. Oh yeah, that's better. There you go. It just creates that little bit of space just in there. If one or two more. So I can't really add in all of those. I think it would just take too much up, and it'd look quite nice with all the orange a little bit further back, because they're from that. So it's going to be a case of when the tiles arrive, I can carry on with a little bit of a display, and when the tiles arrive next, I will add in those minifigures with Rex's ship, which is just a made-up thing. I know it's just a made-up thing, but he does. Well, he's a pretty cool minifigure, to be honest. Really nice print on that one. And I know there's a huge hoo-ha with that and the one that's coming out with the cheese, because everybody thought he was going to be exclusive, and he wasn't. I think apparently it's just his cape that is exclusive. So that is a long-winded way round of what I'm trying to do. I'm going to do this in all of the other little bits and pieces. The actual ground I will add little cheese wedges in, and just to give it a little bit of something, because even if I just did the Hoth design, which is this cool little thing, in other colours, which I can just then look at the instruction booklet all and just basically copy it, because I haven't got any vision. I think that one would work. I'm going to stagger that. I'm going to bring that forward a little bit because there's too much of a gap there. Yeah, so we've got a bit of space. It's not too crowded. We've got a little bit of wiggle room for anything smaller. That'll be added in. But I'm stuck with that now. I don't think there's anything else I can do. So the other thing that I need to think of. Oh, there it is. So that's what it hit. The length went that far. Well, you're about to get battered by you. You've got a weapon. Yours has been done. You've got a spare. Put it on the floor. Just there. By the speeder bike. So then I know. It wasn't there. No. Oh, is it him? Oh, you're going to have it now. This one's going to have it now. Because these things, they don't have ping. So, yeah, that's the older hand, and I don't know if that's the newer. I don't know if it's the hands are cold on the newer ones or whatever, but they're quite difficult to get in. But let's have one quick pan round of the comparison of the two displays. So I've done both these on the same day. So this has gone in first. It's a little bit easier because obviously I had all the little bits and pieces here, whereas I am trying to kind of make this up as I go along on the next one. Same thing with the bikes and everything and the path on this, but that's just going to carry on all the way down. This, well, it doesn't look like we've done anything, but we've done quite a bit because obviously all of these tiles have gone in. We've got a zigzag tile coming to this point, so we can have, I'm going to get some of these little hopper ones, so we can just have normal BAM minifigures basically walking around. It will look good when there's a little bit of a diorama around the balls as well, so we can get something in on that. Now there's nothing stopping me from basically picking this up and putting it right there. There's two base plates. It could literally go either side of this ship if it wanted to, and then we could have another display in the middle. That would obviously just have to stay there because it's just so big, but we can change the battle packs. But yeah, we can have something nice on this bit, because the second you start putting them over and add all the minifigures on, it's going to look completely different over there. But I'm not going to get a third one of these. It was that leg. I'm not going to get a third one of these because I think it would be a bit OTT, I think. So I think stick with the two. The third one will just be its own thing. Ideally, I need to get the Republic tank, which is the Team Purple, which isn't actually Team Purple, but they look good. They're the ones really that need to be coming off this ship, because that is the two minifigures that it comes with. So it's either the yellow or him. So it's either yellow or purple I need, and I can't. Cody's lot is what I need. So I've got Rex, I've got Team Rex. I could have some of Cody's as well. Obviously we've got the Ahsoka's one. So yeah, I think we should be all right for multiple displays. So the plan for me for the next upload then would be the little ship in, those minifigures in, and then if the stand's here, put the stand in as well. So there's three things for this one, and then we can just carry on. But until I've got any more tiles or anything like that, there is literally nothing else I can do. So I am going to end this one, and I'm just going to carry on with trying to tidy this up. That's why I'm wearing the same stuff in every single disaster video, because I'm trying to get 3 or 4 of these videos done in a day, because as it stands right now, I can't move around and it's a right pain in the backside. So I will crack on. I will figure out exactly what else can be done. I do quite like, I think this is my favourite one. I think that one there, him holding it by both guns, and this one just looking quite panicky. I think we can do some little bits and pieces, and of course I can start adding sig figs and all that kind of stuff into this, and it's going to look really nice when there's going to be lots of people walking around. I've left it over there. There's a little Lego City concrete. There's a little guy with a wheelbarrow with basically tarmac in, or stones, and it's got the little bin on the side. That could go where a future display could go. So not only will this have all the Star Wars stuff, there'll be a bit that'll be blocked off, and it'll have construction workers underneath it, because obviously it'll basically have the model team there, and I think that would look quite nice rather than just having it all messy. So when the big ship goes in, everything else will be under construction, and then it can just be added to it as it goes. But if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that would be absolutely fantastic. In the comment section, let us know what you think. Does it look all right? Am I missing anything? Is there anything that would be quite special as an Easter egg just to add in, which I could potentially put at the entrance or the exit of what is technically, don't forget, a ride within the theme park? Let me know. But guys, again, as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you next one.